mentioned that you guys had the wrong plays in the wristband on the first two drives. Is that accurate?
No. Yeah. There was something, I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was.
Was there something wrong with Sanders' wristband?
Yeah, there was a miscommunication.
So y'all heard Mary Kay say, was it the wrong plays? Was it the wrong plays or something?
Was there something wrong with Sanders' wristband?
Yeah, there was a miscommunication early.
What was
you guys had the wrong plays in the wristband on the first two drives? Is that accurate?
No. Yeah.
Then what
there
was
it? Something, I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was, but there was we got that fixed pretty quickly.
On TV, they mentioned that something happened with your wristband after the first two drives.
Oh, no, the car just fell out. Yeah, it just fell out on the sideline. Yeah, that was it.
This is just your fourth start.
So Coach couldn't tell us that.
Pass to Judy. It was right on the money, and it ends up being intercepted. How disappointing, frustrating was that?
Nah, it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. So, like, it is what it is. I'm not one to, ever kick somebody down when he's down. Like, he understands that's a big play, and I'm sure he's hard on himself, so it's no need for me to be extra and do that.
The NFL world is buzzing right now, and it's not just noise, it's outrage. Kevin Stefanski is officially under the microscope after what's being described as a shocking and potentially punishable situation involving Shedeur Sanders during the Browns-Bears game. What started as confusion on the field has now turned into allegations of deliberate sabotage after Stefanski openly admitted that his rookie quarterback was given the wrong plays on his wristband. And once you hear what Shannon Sharpe said about this on Nightcap, it takes this situation from questionable to downright alarming. When reporters asked Stefanski directly whether the wrong plays were on the wristband during the first two drives, his response raised immediate red flags. He said, "No, yeah, there was something. I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was." That answer alone sounded less like accountability and more like a coach scrambling to walk back what he had just admitted. It was vague, contradictory, and honestly one of the most suspicious explanations you'll ever hear from an NFL head coach trying to downplay a serious mistake. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Shannon Sharpe broke down on Nightcap how NFL teams actually prepare those wristbands. According to him, wristbands are finalized Saturday morning, loaded with 150-plus plays, reviewed multiple times, and passed through several layers of coaching staff before game day. In other words, there are simply too many moving parts for this to be an accident. This isn't a typo. This isn't miscommunication. This is the kind of error that just doesn't happen at the professional level unless something is seriously wrong behind the scenes. Sharpe went even further, saying that if he were Jimmy Haslam, he'd be calling other NFL owners immediately asking one question. Have you ever heard of a coach giving his quarterback the wrong plays? Because while mistakes do happen in football, this wasn't just a mistake. It was an egregious mistake, the kind that directly sabotages a quarterback's ability to function on the field. And that's what makes this so disturbing. Even more damning is the fact that this isn't the first time something like this has happened to Shedeur Sanders this season. This is now the second incident, which exposes a troubling pattern. At what point does miscommunication stop being believable and start looking like systematic failure? Or worse, intentional setup? The optics are awful. A rookie quarterback already under pressure, repeatedly placed in impossible situations, while the head coach plays it off as confusion. Now the entire NFL community is demanding answers. Why would a head coach undermine his own quarterback's development? Why does this keep happening to the same player? And how many times can something be labeled a mistake before it's no longer accidental? Whether this leads to league discipline or not, one thing is clear. Kevin Stefanski's credibility has taken a massive hit, and the NFL world is watching closely. Because if this truly was sabotage, it's one of the most blatant and damaging coaching failures the league has seen in years.
Like Kevin Stefanski is in some serious hot water after yesterday loss against the Bears. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go. Everybody's having a great day today. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is Kevin Stefanski press conference. Now, yesterday we did report on what Kevin Stefanski had to say after the game, but something that has caught traction from that press.
The tools to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. I do. But I think he needs somebody that believes in him. I think he needs somebody in his corner. And I'm not so sure that the Browns organization is in his corner. I think the fan base is so in Shedeur's corner. I don't really think they have a choice. That's a damn good Titans defense. And he just threw for that almost 400 yards. He played unbelievable for his third career start. Where's the guys that had thrown for, Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck, Matthew Stafford, Marcus Mariota, C.J. Stroud, Deshaun Watson. He just did something. The 3 number ones, 2 number twos, and a top 20 quarterback. The only one that's ever did in the Super Bowl era. A 5th rounder did that. The quarterbacks that have played the Titans this season. Shedeur Sanders has thrown for the most yards, 364. Matthew Stafford, 298. Davis Mills, 274. Justin Herbert, 250. Sam Darnold, 244. C.J. Stroud, 233. Trevor Lawrence, 229. Drake May, 222. Kyler Murray, 220. Bo Nix, 176. Look at that list, chat. Why the hell did Stefanski do what he did? What the hell was going on? Can you imagine if this man would have come back and won this game, Ocho?
They didn't want that, because if they wanted that, they would have put him in position to do just that.
That's Code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Interview 2. Look, everybody needs to sit down and really pay attention to this, because what Kevin Stefanski just admitted in that post-game press conference is nothing short of wild. And I'm not the only one who caught it. Analysts like Shannon Sharp and others on Nightcap went off about this, breaking down exactly what everyone watching already suspected. At first glance, it might seem like a simple coaching mistake or a miscommunication. But when you really examine the details, it's hard to see this as anything other than a deliberate attempt to sabotage Shedeur Sanders. Let me set the scene for you. The Browns had just been absolutely demolished by the Bears, losing 31-3. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback, had a rough night, throwing 3 interceptions, with the offense looking completely lost at times. Watching him on the field, if you paid attention, it was clear something was off. Shedeur kept glancing down at his wristband, confusion written all over his face during the huddle, hesitating before plays, and struggling to read the defense properly. Early in the game, something happened with the wrist card. Either it fell out, malfunctioned, or had the wrong plays on it. After the game, reporters were rightfully pressing Stefanski on what went wrong. And the exchange that followed is where things get really suspicious. Mary Kay Cat asked a pointed question. I think they mentioned that you guys had the wrong plays in the wristband on the first 2 drives. Is that accurate? Stefanski's response was evasive, confusing, and alarming. No. Yeah. There was something. I don't know if the wristband got something on it, or whatever it was. Think about that answer for a second. That's not clarity. That's not accountability. That's the kind of response you give when you've been caught in the act and are scrambling to cover your tracks. It's a vague, contradictory statement that doesn't actually explain anything. It's Stefanski essentially admitting, yeah, something went wrong, but I'm going to try to make it sound like it's no big deal. It's the classic backpedal of someone who knows the consequences of what just happened, but is desperately trying to control the narrative before it spirals further. What makes this even crazier is how avoidable this entire situation was. In the NFL, wristbands are meticulously prepared. Plays are finalized on Saturday mornings, reviewed multiple times, and double-checked before game day. There's too much structure, too many moving parts, for a rookie quarterback to suddenly be looking at the wrong plays by accident. Mistakes happen, but not mistakes this egregious. Not mistakes that completely cripple a quarterback's ability to operate effectively during a game. And it's not the first time this has happened to Shedeur this season. This is part of a pattern, which raises serious questions about whether this was truly a miscommunication or if someone, whether intentionally or through gross negligence, is setting him up to fail. The optics are devastating. Shedeur Sanders, a highly touted rookie with immense potential, finds himself publicly struggling, frustrated, and trying to execute plays he's been given incorrectly. Meanwhile, Stefanski's half-hearted explanation does little to calm the situation, and instead fuels speculation that something more sinister is at play. Analysts and fans alike are pointing out that if this had been an honest mistake, there would have been a clear acknowledgement and plan to prevent it from happening again. Instead, what we got was evasive, contradictory, and suspicious at best. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. This isn't just about one game or one misstep. It's about the development of a promising quarterback and the integrity of a coaching staff that's supposed to guide him, protect him, and give him the tools to succeed. Giving a rookie QB the wrong plays on a wristband is more than just a simple error. It's a catastrophic breakdown in communication that has real, long-term consequences. Every time this happens, Shedeur's confidence, rhythm, and ability to learn from the game are undermined, and that affects his performance not just in this game, but for the rest of the season. So when you put all the pieces together, the blown game, the repeated wristband issues, Stefanski's evasive press conference, and the historical pattern of mistakes. It paints a picture that is difficult to ignore. Analysts like Shannon Sharp have been right to call this out, pointing to the impossibility. Have seen rookie seasons ruined before, not just by talent gaps, but by organizational mismanagement, and this could easily fall into that category if it isn't addressed immediately. In short, Kevin Stefanski's explanation doesn't hold up. The pattern is concerning, and Shedeur Sanders deserves better. The NFL world is watching closely, and if there isn't accountability, this situation could go down as one of the most shocking examples of rookie sabotage in recent memory. Every fan, analyst, and team executive knows it. Mistakes happen, but nothing this blatant happens by accident. And now all eyes are on Stefanski to see how he handles the fallout, whether he takes responsibility, and whether he will ever regain the trust of his young quarterback. This is bigger than just a single game. It's a story about trust, leadership, and the fine line between error and sabotage.
I don't know if the wristband got something on it.
Now, this is what was said by Kevin Stefanski. Now, I'm not the only one that tripped off this because Shannon Sharp and Ocho tripped off this as well. But let's upload this up real quick. So this is what Kevin Stefanski said that pretty much pissed everybody off. Now, we're not here to make excuses for Shedeur at all. I'm not saying that's the case, but listen to this.
Was there something wrong with Sanders' wristband?
Yeah, there was a miscommunication.
What does that even mean? Something got on it? Like what? Coffee? Water? Sweat? You're seriously telling me that an NFL coaching staff, responsible for preparing a wristband with over 150 plays, somehow had something get on it in the middle of a game, forcing them to change it while their rookie quarterback is on the field trying to lead the offense? That's the explanation we're supposed to believe? It's absurd. Completely absurd. An insider who's been covering this situation summed it up perfectly. He said, and I quote, "Something is going on with Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders because there were certain plays throughout the game where the offensive line was completely missing blocks. It's not just one mistake, it's a pattern. And that's the key. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. This is the second incident this season where Shedeur has been placed in a situation like this. And if you step back and look at it objectively, it doesn't look good for Kevin Stefanski at all. 2 times now, y'all. 2 separate incidents that suggest a troubling trend, not just a fluke or an accident. What this pattern shows is that Kevin Stefanski might be systematically setting up his rookie quarterback to fail, only to act surprised when things inevitably go wrong. And the insider didn't hold back. I'm sick of Kevin Stefanski because it's always something. Every single game, it's always something. Facts. Every week there's a new excuse, a new miscommunication, a new problem that shouldn't even be happening at the NFL level. And that hits the core of the issue. A rookie quarterback's development depends on consistency, trust, and accurate information. When your coaching staff is the one creating confusion, you're not just losing games, you're actively sabotaging the player's growth. The insider also asked the question that everyone watching this is thinking. How do you hand a quarterback a sheet with all the plays you're planning to run for the first 20 to 30 plays, and then, within 10 minutes, completely change them? How the hell is he supposed to know what to do? Exactly. How is Shedeur supposed to execute the offense when his own coaching staff is giving him the wrong information, sending him into the huddle confused, and setting him up to make mistakes? It's not just frustrating, it's career-altering. Rookie quarterbacks rely on guidance, on a system that's reliable, and when that system breaks down repeatedly, it's no wonder the performance suffers. This situation is a textbook example of how poor coaching, mismanagement, or worse, intentional sabotage can derail a young player's career. Every wrong call, every miscommunication, and every something got on it excuse chips away at confidence, trust, and the ability to perform at a high level. And Kevin Stefanski has to answer for it, because right now, Shedeur Sanders is being put in impossible positions, and the NFL world is demanding to know why.
Before, maybe a Friday, or maybe a Saturday, because you understand what plays you have, what vocal plays you like, what vocal plays we ran in practice that Shedeur did well. And that's what goes on the wristband.
But here's the thing, Ocho. They're not leaving till Saturday morning. So Saturday morning is the last official wristband that you're going to get.
Right.
So that's what you're gonna have That's what your first 15 plays, the first 15, you already know what they are. You walk through those. You've talked about them the night before. The quarterback coach has gone over those with Shador.
But here's where the story gets even more explosive, because Shannon Sharpe and others broke it all down on Nightcap, and Shannon explained exactly why this wristband mistake is actually impossible if you understand how NFL teams prepare for games. Shannon put it bluntly, saying, "The funny thing about it is, when reporters ask a coach a question like that, the coach is always going to be PC. He's always going to be politically correct, always trying to protect himself, and rarely gives the honest, true answer about what really happened with the wristband. They're never going to tell us the truth. So now it clearly went wrong. And to understand why this is such a huge deal, you have to know how wristbands are actually prepared in the NFL." Shannon broke it down. The wristband is assembled before the game, sometimes as early as Friday, sometimes Saturday morning. The coaching staff decides exactly which plays go on there, which plays worked well in practice, which vocal calls the quarterback prefers, which plays the team expects to run in the first half. Every detail is reviewed, walked through, and finalized ahead of time. Here's the crucial part. The Saturday morning wristband is the official version. That's it. That's what the quarterback will have for the game. Every single play, the first down, the second down, the third down, red zone plays, goal line plays, is already on that wristband. The quarterback and his coaches have already gone through it, reviewed it, and memorized it. The first 15 plays, for example, are already planned, discussed, and drilled the night before. The quarterback coach has gone over everything with Shedeur Sanders, ensuring he knows exactly what to call, when to call it, and how to execute it.so when Stefanski says, "Yeah, something got on it. I don't know what happened. It doesn't make sense." According to NFL protocol, there's no room for that kind of error. The plays are finalized, rehearsed, and ready to go well before kickoff. That's why Shannon and other insiders are calling this highly suspicious. Something unusual happened. Something that doesn't align with how a professional NFL coaching staff operates. It wasn't a simple mistake, and it certainly wasn't random. Every play, every decision, and every communication on that wristband is intentional and deliberate. That's what makes this story so explosive. It suggests a deeper issue, not just a harmless oversight, and the NFL world is now watching closely, demanding answers about why a rookie quarterback was left in a position to fail during what should have been a carefully orchestrated game plan.
Like, how you give somebody a sheet of plays that, okay, these are the plays that we gonna run with the first 20, 30 plays, and then later, like within 10 minutes, no, we ain't gonna do them plays. How the hell is he supposed to know? Now watch, the offensive lineman that Joe Patino do, he's probably going to talk about Shedeur not making it back to the huddle in time, not knowing the play. Watch, man, this is starting to turn into a cycle with them and this, bro. I just got to be honest. It's starting to turn into a cycle.
Interview 5. Let me break down exactly what Shannon Sharpe just explained, because this is where the situation with Shedeur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski gets absolutely shocking and unprecedented. The wristband, the quarterback's essential playbook strapped to his arm, is not something thrown together last minute. It's meticulously prepared days in advance. The coaching staff assembles it based on what plays worked best in practice, which plays the quarterback is most comfortable with, and what strategies will be used for the first part of the game. That wristband is finalized Saturday morning, and it becomes the official guide for the game. The quarterback coach doesn't just hand it off and hope for the best. The night before the game, the coach goes over the first 15 plays in painstaking detail with the quarterback. They walk through each play, discuss assignments, read progressions, and make sure the quarterback knows exactly what to do on first down, second down, third down, in the red zone, and at the goal line. Every single play that's going to be called at the start of the game is rehearsed, talked through, and memorized. By the time game day comes, the quarterback is supposed to be fully prepared, confident, and ready to execute.so. If all of this preparation happens, if every step is carefully reviewed, how do wrong plays end up on the wristband? How does something get on it in the middle of a game? How does a miscommunication like this happen when there are multiple layers of review, multiple coaches, and countless safeguards in place? That's exactly what makes this situation so alarming. Shannon explained it perfectly, saying something along the lines of, there might be 150 plays on the wristband, and suddenly the quarterback is being told to run play 76, a play he's never even heard of. How does that happen? I've never seen anything like this before, and I don't want to make excuses for anyone, but this doesn't make sense. I've never heard of a coach giving the wrong play really is. It's one thing to make a mistake on the field. It's another thing entirely to have a rookie quarterback given wrong plays multiple times in a game, despite every safeguard in place. At this point, it doesn't just look like incompetence, it starts looking like deliberate sabotage. Shannon emphasized that if he were Jimmy Haslam, the Browns' owner, he would demand immediate answers. He would want to know exactly how the wrong plays ended up on the wristband for the first 2 drives, why adjustments had to be made on the fly, and who in the coaching staff failed to catch it. Every part of the process, preparing the wristband, rehearsing plays, reviewing strategies with the quarterback, is designed to prevent mistakes like this, which is why this incident has raised so many red flags. Then Cinco jumped in with his perspective, and what he said reinforced just how unusual and troubling this situation is. Who explained that as players, they understand how much preparation goes into every game. Every practice, every walkthrough, every drill is designed to make sure mistakes like this do not happen. For the wrong plays to appear on a wristband in the middle of a game is beyond comprehension. Who made it clear? This isn't something that happens by accident. There are too many layers of preparation, too many people involved, and too many safeguards in place for this to be a simple miscommunication. In other words, what we're seeing is highly suspicious. This isn't just a minor error, a glitch, or a misstep. A rookie quarterback's development, confidence, and performance were compromised at the highest level of the game. Analysts, insiders, and fans alike are all watching closely because something like this has the potential to derail a promising career. When a coaching staff fails to protect their quarterback in this way, intentionally or not, the consequences are massive, and accountability is demanded. At the end of the day, the questions everyone in the NFL world is asking are simple: plays going forward? Because right now, nothing about this situation adds up, and it's clear that Kevin Stefanski and his staff need to provide answers, not excuses. Before this story gets even worse, Shannon agreed, especially at the NFL level, where preparation is everything. They prepare throughout the week when getting ready for an opponent. The NFL is built on structure, repetition, and detail. There are rarely mistakes like this because there are simply too many moving parts involved. Too many people. Too many checkpoints. Too many layers of responsibility. That's why this situation stands out so much. Shannon explained that NFL organizations are incredibly thorough and professional. You've got position coaches, coordinators, quality control coaches, analysts, equipment managers, and multiple staff members whose sole job is to check and double-check everything. For the wrong plays to end up on Shedeur Sanders' wristband, it wouldn't just require one mistake. Multiple people would have had to fail at their job. Then the other possibility is exactly what Shannon and Ocho are hinting at. Someone did it on purpose. Then Shannon dropped what might be the most important statement of the entire discussion. He said, "I agree with you, Ocho. This might be a situation I've never heard of before. I don't know how it happened. We don't know why it happened. But if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I'm going to need some answers." And he didn't stop there. Shannon broke it down even further, saying he'd want to know how you give a quarterback a sheet of plays and say, "These are the plays we're going to run for the first 20 or 30 snaps," and then, within 10 minutes of the game starting, suddenly decide those plays aren't being used. How is a quarterback, especially a rookie, supposed to function in that environment? How is he supposed to execute an offense when the foundation keeps changing underneath him? Shannon warned that the blame game is already forming. He pointed out that soon people are going to start saying Shedeur isn't getting back to the huddle fast enough, that he doesn't know the play, that he's confused. He specifically mentioned watching how offensive linemen and assistants like Joe Patino might frame the narrative. And that's when Shannon said something that really stood out. This isn't just a one-time issue anymore. This is starting to turn into a cycle, he said. A cycle of confusion, deflection, and excuses. And once a cycle forms, it stops being accidental. Shannon doubled down, repeating that if he were Jimmy Haslam, he would demand a detailed explanation. He said he'd want to know exactly why the wrong plays were on the wristband for the first 2 drives, and why the staff had to make mid-game adjustments. Not vague answers. Not political responses. Real accountability. Then he took it even further.